think if I wanted to go more the late 90s, early 2000s style, what I would have done, because I was debating whether or not to flip my hat back, you know, and I did this. I did one of these, you know, Kevin Smith over here, you know. He said I was sort of that late 90s, early 2000s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if I wanted to go that route, what I do is I go get one of those visors, take the visor, right? Take the visor, and you know, you do do one of these with the
So
visor.
I didn't say douchebag. What I said, and I didn't. Let me also gotta. Okay, I gotta also say I didn't say Fred Durst when I said flip your hat back.
Yeah, yeah.
What I said was late '90s, early 2000s guy. That is not Fred Durst, nor is that a fucking visor.
I flipped my hat back. Was that him? Was that Fred Durst?
That was Fred Durst.
I almost saw him. I almost saw him recently. I don't know why I didn't. I should have. I feel like it would have been a show. You know, it would have been a show.
Well, especially like no joke, but like especially with his whole dad vibes thing that he's got going on, it's he's completely done with the seriousness. It's all like this funkadelic stuff now, but it's when you take the seriousness out of Limp Bizkit, it's a whole lot better.
Yeah. You treat it like the camp that it is. And on that note, I say hello, and welcome to the Snide Show. That's right. Season 3 still coming at you strong 2 weeks in a row. We're freaking doing it, man. We're freaking doing it, you know? So, yeah, on that note... There we go. That was weird how that wasn't showing up for a second, but here we are. Snide Studios. You're on the page, so you must be somewhat familiar. I am your host, Corey the Curator, Cornelius, if you want to get fancy with it. Joined today with...
AC.
Yes, yes.
Simple.
Praise be. The powerful, powerful AC. Yeah, lots of that. We're going to need that today. We need that energy up in here today. Sorry for peeking on you like that. Let me grab get a little wet my whistle here. Yes.
It's actually been one of those days because it's been a hot one today, to be honest with you.
Every day lately's been a hot one. This summer has started strong, just like us. And, you know, I don't know. You know, I respect it. That's the only way I can put it.
I see you thought I was talking about the temperature. I was talking about myself, but here we are, and now this is an awkward situation that you put us both in.
No. Yep. That's what has happened here.
Well, we should probably just move along.
All right, get into the slice of life. What's going on on your slice of life over there?
Well, right now I'm still currently working on one of the musical projects. I have sent you one of the songs that I have just finished mastering.
Oh yeah, a little peek there.
And I'm working on the other one to finish it off, and then it's about 2/3 of the way finished.
Yeah, man, and I've been, you know, from the sidelines a little impatient because I've been like to me, just as like a listener and a watcher, it seems to me done. You know what I'm saying? But you know, the mark of a true artist, dude, you're really trying to iron this out and really making sure that your first step with this mixtape is a stomp.
Yeah. That's for me at this point, because you know it's not about, I'm not making the actual music part of it. I'm doing just the vocal mixing. So for me, I want the vocals to blend with the music, not so much overpower it.
Yeah.
So that's really where I'm at. I want to make sure it's blending and not one thing is over the other, because I'm just adding to what someone else has already made. Which, just for the shout out for it's Hollywood Legend Production, my favorite beat maker.
Hollywood Legend Production. Hold on, let me try one. Hollywood Legend Productions. I like how their new tag is all Hollywood Legend Producer.
Oh yeah,
It's like they're like, you already know what it is. HLP.
Yeah, I don't even gotta finish the statement. You know who it is.
HLP, man. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they've been fucking beat masters for like what 10 years now, at least since we've known them. Since you've been starting to fuck with them back in the Jack Lestat days, shouts out.
That was, I think, the first beat that I found by them. That was the Ultimate Standoff, and I found that one 14 years ago.
14 years since this boy's been fucking with these beats, dude. And they're still like releasing them, and what I love too, watching your development. I mean, you've always been this way. You're kind of, and I think a lot of people are like this. You're like a binge purge artist. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're on it, you're like 2 tracks a week, 1 track a week, at least, just on it.
Yeah, it's because it's when an inspiration hits is when you got to do it. If you don't, then it kind of disintegrates and goes away.
Yeah, exactly.
But then there's the other side of that token where you push too hard and then there's just nothing.
Right. Yeah, man. Well, on that note, I have an exciting new business endeavor to announce.
And I am excited.
Yeah, man. I am, I'll be running sort of the promo, sort of being the mouthpiece for this organization. I'm not quite sure how much I can say at this point, except that I can announce the product that I'll be working with and putting out, and just sort of like, communicating to the public. And it's Hue Milk. Have you heard of this yet?
I have not. You're going to have to give me some detail on that.
Well, so Hue Milk is this product that this company, I think they're and disclaimer now, I don't know a lot of the specifics yet, but I think this company works with Monsanto, or is owned by Monsanto. I mean, what isn't these days, and right. Much like humanity, there's some goods, there's some bads, it is what it is if you really look at it, But what this product is, Hue Milk, is have you heard the phrase "not your mom, not your milk"?
Yeah, of course.
So we have adapted to drink cow's milk, but that's not necessarily what we evolved to drink. It's kind of like a post-agricultural thing that we've done with, cow's milk, goat's milk, buffalo milk. And what this product is ethically sourcing milk, again, I'm not sure how much I could say. I mean, like if I could answer, if you have some questions, you could ask me the questions, and I could give you the answers. You know what I'm saying? If I could,
right. I see what you're saying.
I'll pick and choose.
I see what you're saying. So, but you're gonna be
kind of like a spokesperson of sorts for Hue Milk.
So where is it coming from?
Where is what coming from?
The Hue Milk. Where is it coming from? Like, where is it based out of? Where is this coming from?
Oh, I think Texas. I think Texas.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, really, how did you get onto that one?
I mean, I guess someone saw the show. I mean, I think some of the research may be coming out of like the agricultural centers around here. You know, I mean, we out of the area of America where Dolly the sheep came out of, you know, if you know what I'm saying.
Right. Well, interesting.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to save some of it for next week. You know, because I want to talk to them and see how much I can put out. Because some of it's kind of radical. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, because there's also, you know, the disclosures and all that stuff that you got to be careful with, and you don't want to accidentally say something you're not supposed to say, and we're going to sue you.
Yeah, exactly. But just so announcing, you know, keep your eye out for Humilk, HUMILK, you know.
Yeah, you're gonna have to keep us all updated, he included.
Yeah, I will. And so moving on to a little topical punch. Oh yeah. I don't have a guitar riff yet. So I got a mixed berry double cup of topical punch for your ass today. That's 2 cups. A double cup. That's right. We're not doing any info scat today or anything like that. It's just a topical punch day because there's a lot going on and a lot of it not necessarily fun to talk about. So I'm trying to make sure that we have some fun things to talk about. I'm going to take my volume down a little bit there because it looked like I was peaking. So... All right. All right. Oh, I forgot our little... That guy.
There he is. Hey, where'd he go?
Topical punch, man. Topical punch, man. You know what he says? He says, oh, news.
Oh, no.
All right. So our first story today comes from WDBJ, our hometown station. Maybe not necessarily your hometown station, unless you're from around here, in which case it is one of your hometown stations, but maybe not necessarily the hometown station that you watch. You know, there's a couple others around here.
There are.
If you watch those, you're full of shit. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really give a shit. So changes in Virginia, this is what I do give a shit about. Changes in Virginia marijuana laws take effect July 1st. First of all, let's just get this out of the way. I don't know if I've said this on the show before, but just starting out, WDBJ, any of you in the area, you know, fucking around with reporting on cannabis news, just as someone who's you know, up on this culture and stuff, you know, the term marijuana is a very problematic term. Now, it's not to the point where I think it needs to be bleeped or anyone needs to be like told not to say it or something. You know, I don't think it's like that. You know. But it's people got to realize it was a term that was used at a time to distinguish cannabis sativa from the cannabis hemp, you know, where we get hemp from. And it kind of tricked people into thinking they were 2 separate things for a while. You also saw the term reefer, and you look at movies like Reefer Madness. And it's, you know, it's a charged word, especially racially. You know, like it was used at the time in the early 20th century to demonize and fearmonger, basically so that they didn't replace lumber with hemp for paper, because it would have been cheaper and we'd be living in the 863 timeline or whatever, 838 timeline.
Right.
So that's that, you know.
Just so you know.
But the important things here, 2 big changes happening. On the one hand, it's going to be easier to hold, and on the other hand, more people are going to be getting in trouble for holding. Edible users mostly. So first of all, starting today, there are new cannabis laws that basically make getting a medical card easier. You used to have to wait. Being a patient myself, you'd have to wait like 5 or 6 months to get the card, and it's only good for a year. So they're changing that. A lot of it I haven't been able to find specifically, because Virginia's weird, exactly what the changes are going to be. Like a lot of things, we're all going to find out when our favorite shops get those papers. You know what I'm saying? You remember the vape thing?
Oh, the vape. Yeah. When they were saying, well, these things are going to go bye-bye for a while, and they may or may not come back, and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and they had to change the packaging, change the flavors. A lot of companies died that day, and the same thing's going to happen here. And they keep doing this with CBD. They did a thing recently with trying to get THC, synthetic THC, which that's what they're calling it, but that's not necessarily what it is. But like the Delta 8, Delta 10 shit out of food. Mm-hmm. Which, again, like, these lawmakers, they have no idea what they're doing, because that shit's not like psychoactive, like some straight up, THC or whatever. But
right.
Then on the other hand, this law is coming through that's going to make holding more than 4 ounces of cannabis product illegal. So how heavy is a cookie, man?
Probably more than 4 ounces.
It's like, what?
If I were to bet.
So it's like they're not even taking into consideration, like, this is a cookie that's got, like, say like 4 grams of THC, and it's a whole cookie. You're going to go to jail.
So they're not taking into consideration the amount that's in it versus the entire product.
It's just the weight of the product, because they don't give that much of a shit about writing the law.
Let me see, if they wanted to regulate, like, let's say there's 4 ounces of the THC, and that's a lot, but 4 ounces of THC in that said cookie. Okay, yeah. I could see that, separate it that way. But
which is just insane, dude. Like, when you have THC oil, it's measured by like 0.1 milliliters. You know what I'm saying? So like that doesn't even make sense.
You're right, because dry versus wet is a different weight.
Yeah.
So you'd be cutting hairs at that point.
Yeah, that's what. And what they're trying to do, and look, you see both these measures coming through at the same time. It doesn't take a fucking strategic attorney to see what's happening here. Edible users are the most casual users, like the people that are eating a gummy before a hike, or like eating a cookie at a party or something, and they're usually, like I said, like they're doing like 4 to 9, percent, or shoot, I can't remember, milligrams, 4 to 9 milligrams, yeah. Which again, like that's a minuscule amount. And then at the same time, you're making it easier for people to get that, and then at the same time making it more of a criminal action to have it.
So what you're telling me is it's a setup?
It looks very much like a big setup to get a lot of scared suburban people in trouble.
So it almost sounds like they're trying to put the shoe on the other foot, as opposed to, it was the holding marijuana itself. Mm-hmm. Again, I use the word because of the statement I'm making.
Yeah, it's
but
yeah.
Against the poorer, lower middle class, now they're aiming for the higher middle, higher class for the same things, because it can get them more money.
Yeah, it's a money thing. It's a fear-mongering thing, is a big thing, because these sorts of politicians, they like people to be afraid. We'll get more into that in a little bit. But yeah, that was a good phrase to use, setup. It is a big setup. To me, as a paranoid observer. But that's just me.
Right. But that, I mean, I'm not a user, obviously, but I can still see that that's the case. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like for me, I completely support, harm prevention, and this
Sure.
this falls in the category of harm prevention, and I I I don't see how regulating it that way is helpful at all, because you really are, you're just splitting hairs. That's all you're doing to create a bigger problem, when the whole point of it was when they legalized everything, was to come up with a solution, not make a bigger problem, which is exactly what is happening now. But then if you want to get into bigger problems, well, we can look at everything going on with, say, Supreme Court or whatever, which I know we're going to get into. But you look at the Supreme Court and you look at all the decisions they're making right now. I mean, it's just a big cycle of making a bigger problem.
Yeah, they're just
they don't need to.
Exactly.
And it's like it's almost like, if you look at it from a big picture, it's like stair steps to create a massive problem, because it's all these little things are going to start adding up, and then, as we've seen, and we're again going to get into it, bigger things are coming out of it.
Exactly. So let's get into a little weird news.
Reason for police chase, straight out of science fiction.
This was a fun one. See, these are the drugs motherfuckers need to be scared of, whatever this motherfucker was on.
Right?
And then also, he probably has some sort of predisposition. I mean, this thing is, unless AC, can we at least entertain for a moment, what if wannabe Harrison Ford over here is right? Because let me just say, after an epic high-speed chase, this speed freak claims to be a time traveler trying to save his son. He's just trying to save his son.
That sounds awfully familiar. I'm just saying.
Give me back my son.
I want my kids back.
Yeah. And the cop was probably like, I mean, and again, I won't say it, but good on this cop for not doing the worst thing that he could have done. Because he took him in. This guy from Virginia Beach, Tommy Lee. That's why I'm going to call him. It's Thomas W. Lee. He probably gets that a lot. Hey, Tommy Lee, and I'm one of them. Also with the drugs he's on. I mean, this sounds like something Tommy Lee might do,
I mean, Tommy Lee, of course, speaking of the drummer at this point, Tommy Lee is, he's out there as fuck. So, you know what? I could see it.
Just trying to time travel, man. Just trying to get my son back. Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, right. One of them. So, yeah, it's a little fuzzy where he's from. He just appeared in court, and apparently that's where this time travel shit came out of, and it began in Hempfield, Pennsylvania. He's from Virginia Beach. Where is Westmoreland County?
Westmoreland County. That's a good question.
Still in Pennsylvania. Let me see how far he went. He went from, where did it say? Philadelphia? Is that where it started? No, Hempfield. My bad. All right, that's a little chase. We see those chases around here. I mean, going 100, he was probably there in like a couple hours. That's a couple-hour chase. I mean, that's good. That's good. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I was just thinking about this. This is sort of similar. I don't know if you remember it, but there's a story. It was a guy wrote it, I think, back in the 80s, and it's based off of something that supposedly actually happened. The Man from Torrid mystery. Remember the man who came over from a different universe, and he had like different IDs and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I feel like this story kind of maybe this guy read that he's like, oh man, and then he just got super duper like, oh man, I'm baked, man. I gotta, and then he started twisting it around in his head. Is I gotta get my son back after watching Back to the Future.
Or what he did, I think what he did, AC, what I think he did, AC, was he was watching. I can't remember the movie now. It ruined it. It ruined it. But he fell asleep watching a Harrison Ford movie and woke up watching Back to the Future or something. You know, he was.
Was that what was it? The Fugitive?
That's what I almost said. That's what I almost said. I want it on the record that I almost said The Fugitive. So yeah, he fell asleep watching one movie. He woke up watching fucking, you know, Back to the Future or what have you. And yeah, you know, aggravated assault, drunken driving. See, that's the thing though. They didn't actually find any drugs on him. I don't know, man. I don't know. We could chalk this up to drugs, but actually,
But if there's no proof.
He's just
does
crazy,
that
man.
add credibility, or does that just mean that there might be some form of mental illness that needs to be treated?
Usually it's both, man. Usually motherfuckers on drugs. Usually motherfuckers on drugs, AC, they're just trying to self-medicate.
But if there weren't any in his system, that means he wasn't. Either way it goes, this story is absolutely wild.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's like... We may never know. We may never know. We probably won't. But, you know.
It's just like the whole conspiracy behind how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
It's a good question. It's a good question. Yeah. So, but back to, you know, I don't know. Everybody's going crazy, including our SCOTUS justices, our Supreme Court justices are also fucking have lost their marbles. You know, let's just get right into it. There's this new controversial election law case that's about to hit the steps of the Supreme Court. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what this could do is disrupt the balance of power in federal elections such that state legislature would have more power, you know, generally checked by the judicial branch, strengthening tactics like gerrymandering or even overturning election results in their favor. Like basically it would give that branch, you know, the state, the power to just supersede federal elections, to be like, nah, that's not our guy.
Well, I think we kind of got into this a little bit on the last episode, actually, when I was talking about the checks and balances.
Yes, you did.
And here we go. Because I kind of had a feeling something along these lines was coming, especially the way things have been going the last, 2 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a sleight of hand martial law sort of deal.
Yes, yes, like they're gearing up for like secession or some shit.
Yeah, because the way, without getting to my opinion versus reality kind of deal, I'm still going to say it, but it's like the government is completely taking away.
Can we just clarify a sect of the government? You know,
yes, okay.
that is becoming more powerful.
Yes, it's becoming more powerful and trying to almost take over everything, so that there's no, well, the people want to do this, but because they take away all of the pros outweighing the cons. Because I can get behind, if the risks outweigh the benefit, or the benefit outweigh the risks. But at this point, it's more so, well, we don't care about what the risk is, because this benefits what we're telling you it benefits, and that's all that matters. So you don't need to look into it. You don't need to worry about it. Just trust that we're doing what's best. In reality, you look at it and it's not what's best. It's what's best maybe for you or for them, I guess, but not for everyone as a whole. And I get, you can't do what's best for every single person.
But these motherfuckers,
you can't look at the whole scope and decide, well, this 10%, this opinion is what's best, so this is what we're just gonna do, okay?
Yeah.
And that's what's happening. They're looking at like the 10%, saying, well, this 10% says this is what's best, and they're smarter than everyone else, and they have more money and more power, so therefore, we're gonna go ahead and just do what we say is right.
They're doing what's right for billionaires. They're doing what's right for tax dodgers. They're doing what's right for the radical right. They're doing what's right for Christians is a big thing, apparently. Like, I thought this was a non-denominational fucking situation in the United States of America, but they're like,
well, that's the thing.
It belongs to the Christians.
If you look at history, though, there's supposed to be a separation of church and state.
Absolutely.
But there is not.
Yeah.
There is not. If you look at, say, our national anthem, if you look at the fact that they still have you say the Pledge of Allegiance and still have to include all that in school, there is, and that would still be, so school is still part of the state, which is supposed to be separated from church, but it's not.
Right.
So it will go back to that. But if you go back in history far enough, you learn that a big part of the church has always been a part of the government. And I'm not talking about like the U.S. government. I'm talking about just world government in general. It's always been part of it.
Yeah. I mean, well, this isn't info scat, but there are two. First of all, there's a big thing I learned recently about two big groups that run a good amount of the government. There's the Southern Baptist Convention and there's the Christian Prayer Circle, are two huge groups. And the former one has its roots in fucking like slavery, like in supporting slavery, supporting the South in that whole thing, the Southern Baptist Convention. And then, which is weird because when Baptists first came to America, they were like they were kind of regarded as the hippies by like the fucking Quakers and shit. And now look at it, the Quakers, like, they'll host gay marriages and stuff. But and then the Christian Prayer Circle, just look into that shit. I mean, they kind of get into a little bit of that on like the Righteous Gemstones, not specifically, but it's that sort of people and just like their control over things. Look up Behind the Bastards. It's a really good podcast about bad people. It tells you all about bad people and how they do what they do and have done what they've done throughout history. Behind the Bastards. There are episodes about those two things that I mentioned. But I don't know how much you've looked into gerrymandering, but it's one of those things. It gets into, again, like how convoluted, like people trying to stay in power will make things to further their goals. They'll do things like change district lines so that a heft of the weight in the region will go towards like the Republicans. They're again, I know a lot of things are like both sides kind of thing, but they've used that tactic a lot more. It's a very sneaky tactic of redistricting regions so that they can keep power, basically. Like, they get in power, they say, I'm allowed to change these lines, they change the lines, they get in their buddies and stuff, and they keep doing that everywhere, so a lot of times, courts have been the ones to try to stop gerrymandering. Again, this would take that away.
Right.
And it's all about these, it's mainly billionaires, but they know that manipulating people religiously is easy, and like manipulating people through like beliefs, like belief bias rather than through facts, which
Right.
again, you clearly at least have a large party over here that's like kind of slowly losing people. That's like, we're for science, we're for progress. That's what we try to do. Can't always, again, say everybody's good on a side, but shit, man. I mean, the left, like, it's like, it just seems more rational, man.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, there are billionaire nihilists on that side who gain from, again, these operations. So again, it's not good. I don't like a two-party system. I don't like it. But it's always been for me that lesser of two evils, and I've never seen that land on the right for me. I mean,
Right.
but
Yeah.
that's just me. We're just a couple amateurs. We're not lawyers. We're not scientists. We're entertainers, all right? What the fuck do y'all want from us? Giving you a show.
Loser!
That's my
Just
thing. I
like-
love that.
Just like get all contemptuous out of nowhere.
Loser! You're a fucking loser!
Are you feeling sorry for yourself?
Oh no!
Oh yeah.
So on to the next. Let's dive deeper into the fucking vitriolic toxicity of this fucking news.
That's a good idea.
Putin's Putin on the Ritz over here saying Russia will respond if NATO sets up infrastructure in Finland and Sweden, who share some big old juicy borders there with Mother Russia.
Oh yeah. I actually learned an interesting fact. A lot of people think that Russia's far, far off from the U.S., but guess what? It's not far at all.
Sarah Palin can see Russia from outside her door, eh?
Oh, did you know that? I didn't know that.
That's what she said. She
Oh, wait.
said, I can see Russia from right out my door. That's why you should put me in charge.
Well, that's a cool thing you can do, but what else gives you qualifications to be in charge?
I got. Nah, I'm not gonna say it. So, leave it to your imagination. Dude, she was terrible but sexy. Fucking Putin over here. He's so NATO is this shit over in Europe where like it's a consortium of people with interests in sort of westernization and what have you, and joining the fucking ranks of America and Britain and just kind of, giving into the colonialism rather than letting us sneak all up in there. And in return, you get like, a lot of cool guns and shit. And in this situation, I think it's probably a good call for Finland and Sweden. This has been cooking up for a while, but, it's just further fucking pushing Putin. Oh, I want to see that reality show. Fucking coming to TLC this fall, pushing Putin. And it's just about, following him around. I don't know. you can have it, TLC, okay?
Freebie.
It's a freebie. It's a freebie. You heard it here. So, yeah, and pushing him to kind of like, all right, dude, you gonna fucking put your balls on the table for this hammer or what? And this is something I will say is more both sides than most people would think. Are you gonna smack him with that? For those listening and not watching, AC he's bringing out his power tools. He brought out his tape measure there. That's where he's gonna start. He's gonna measure Putin's dick and be like, "Ha ha, I'm bigger." So fucking NATO, and the Russia's claims of there being some like Nazis over there in Ukraine, they weren't necessarily baseless. Is it worth like pulling tanks up to the fucking shit? That's where I draw a line and shit. I don't really think we need to be like kicking this nest or anything, but it's like shit's whack, man. Like fucking 2022, you're rolling out tanks and shit. Come on, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, and you're calling them the Nazis and shit. Come on, bro. But
bruh. Take a step back and just cool down, man. Have a cool drink of water from the water hose and calm down.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's one of those things where it's more nuanced than people think. Like, simply Russia's just beating up on Ukraine for no reason. It's not necessarily that. There's a lot of like propaganda going on both sides. Our perspective may seem clear, but we don't even speak their languages. So
that's true. That's very true. And a lot of the times we don't actually get the correct information most of the time. So, I mean, like, you really think about world news, we don't really pay much attention to the rest of the world, to be honest.
No matter how much you try, it's hard to. And it's hard to be objective about it because all these fucking news companies are owned by companies that have their own, which is why I'm going to say it here again. I know I said it last week. I'm going to say it 1,000 more times for y'all asses. When you read something, before you start sharing it, take the headline and just Google the headline, and you'll find like 2 other versions and skim. You don't gotta like fucking read, but like skim through and like see like if you see any like kind of like things that are different. What's different in these
variations of the story.
Exactly, and there you will find the truth. In what's consistent, not in the differences. And the differences, that's where you'll find where people are trying to get, but it was more clever to say the truth.
Let's make it juicy.
Yeah, so that's that. So let's get out of that. And as with all of these stories, folks, my chat hasn't been loading into OBS, I've realized. Let me see. I'm not going to do it all right now. If anyone's saying hello out there, hello back. We, share, like, all that shit. And anything that you hear that we say, is interesting, or you're like, hey, you got another perspective on it, please fucking holler at us, man. We want some interaction. We want some engagement, and it's a great way to stay in shape.
And there he is. I was waiting for it. There's a few times where I was thinking, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
It's hard not to.
And then there it is.
It's
actually become a part of my everyday terminology towards things. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I'm not going to stop.
I approve. Also, I know I was peaking earlier. Found the issue. Turned it down a little bit. Sorry. If anyone out there needs to turn up the volume, go ahead now. You don't need me to tell you that. But I can't see the chat right now. If anyone knows a fix for that in OBS, the chat not loading up, let me know. Someone's. I did get that. What's up, Brandy? So that's that. Moving on.
Moving right along.
Our hopefully our last depressing story. A disturbing process is accelerating in freshwater lakes worldwide. Study finds from our folks at Science Alert. Gotta get
Science.
Science. And So it's a
Oh no!
yeah, it's terrible. So there's algae blooms that are happening, depleting oxygen, lots of shit going on with the freshwater lakes here in America. I thought, I kind of oh shoot, I'm into AC. You gotta call me out when I miss things on the script. I left an important shout out there.
You left an important shout out there.
Yeah. So back to the international thing real quick. Check out, folks, the ECI and WCPA Facebook.
Oh, that's right.
Because a mentor of mine, Dr. Martin, is he's got some solutions, and he's got some colleagues with some solutions to some of those world problems. A lot of it is over my head. It's again, if you're into sort of the international things, then this is a post-political tool here, the World Constitution and Earth Constitution Institute. It's beyond that. It's beyond left or right or any of that. It's more about, a lot of the solutions that they present could fix a lot of these things that we get into on here. And it's all about, I feel like I would be an insult to even try to explain any of it, but check it out. WCPA, World Constitution and Parliament Association, Earth Constitution Institute, ECI, Facebook. That's where you can find the central stuff, and from there you'll get to WCPA.global, EarthConstitution.world, shouts out, all that. So yeah. On to out of the troubling political states of the world, and now we're getting into some of the scientific states of the world problems. So freshwater lakes are drying up. Made me think about that lake near us. Smith Mountain Lake, is that it?
Yeah, that's the one.
It's all dried up, right?
Honestly, I'm not 100% on that.
It's mostly dried up, is my understanding, and it's been drying up slowly for a couple hundred years.
I know it's been drying up.
Yeah.
I don't know where its actual status is at the moment.
Yeah. Did we get into on here the story where there are all the holes at the bottom of it? Like it's got like a porous bottom?
I don't think we actually did. I think we might have touched on it a little bit because I know we have had a conversation about it being where
IRL.
that's what the movie was filmed. Yeah. In real life, yeah, I think we have.
Yeah. So yeah, just like I said, the bottom of Smith Mountain Lake's porous, and I'm trying to think of the company, but there was a company around here. I can't fucking remember. They were trying to get rid of mattresses. So at one point they tried lining the bottom of the lake with mattresses to keep it from...
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That'll work. We'll just attach 100-pound weights on every corner. There's no chance it'll move.
That's out of South Park.
Yeah, that whole idea. Well, maybe we could just attach sponges to the bottom of the mattresses, and it'll absorb water. It'll hold it down in place.
Yeah.
We're just going to attach mattresses to the bottom of the lake, okay? That's a good idea. Stay away from drugs, kids, because drugs, boy. Okay?
Yeah, I need some South Park sounds on this board. So, yeah. Oh, no, that wasn't the last bit of depressing news.
Oh, no.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, no. You said that was going to be the last one.
I know.
Yeah.
So, a new imaging technique That's science, right? That's exciting science right there. A new imaging technique in science. Just keep saying science. No, reveals the source of long COVID in the lungs, right? So a lot of people have heard of long hauler. You know, I think that term was like invented for like fucking polio and fucking what's the other one? Tuberculosis.
Yeah, TB.
Yeah, and now COVID, we got long haulers, man. You got motherfucking Bryan Cranston still can't taste, motherfuckers, and yeah, and people are still getting passed around.
Watch out!
And it's one of those things, you know. The pandemic didn't end. This coronavirus pandemic, it's not over. It's not
Well,
over.
no, it's not over, but people could still play pretend.
Yeah, they can play pretend. Can play their pretend away to their graves. So, yeah, you know, the vaccinations, they do help a lot. I mean, like I've seen it secondhand through Bex, my life partner, who works in a hospital, has worked on the wing where they send all the COVID shit. Now they're not even taking temperatures when you enter. Now they don't even got anyone at the front of the hospital. You know that, AC?
Yep.
You know that?
I've seen that. Yep.
They're not even taking temperatures anymore, which I thought was nice. Just for what with a lot of stuff with coronavirus, I was like, not everything. You know, of course, not the masks and the social distancing and everything having shitty hours. Those weren't great, but there were a lot of things happen. I like that now. I can fucking get hand sanitizer anywhere. I can wave my hands all day in the streets like motherfucking Prince, and I'm getting hand sanitizer every fucking dap. You know,
Let me
I like
give
that.
you a little.
I like that.
Let me give you a little insight real quick. It's a little sidebar here. So me and the kids and Chelsea, we all went down to the North Carolina Zoo, and in the hand sanitizer dispensers were nests of hornets.
Cool. That's really cool. I love that about post-COVID world, don't you?
I
These
do.
unmaintained. Because they
well, let me
fucking
tell
fired
you.
the motherfucker that was filling them up. It's a
Yeah.
waste of money.
Well,
Waste of
Russell
money.
runs up on it. He goes, "Oh, look, hand sanitizer."
It's a
He
waste of
sticks
money.
his hand in there and goes, "Oh my God, there's bees in
Oh
there."
my god, man. Poor man. You said this happened to Russ?
Yep.
Oh, poor Bub, man. He's gonna
well,
traumatize
the
him,
rest-
man.
The rest of that trip, no matter where we went, if there was one of those hand sanitizer dispensers, and I'm not gonna lie, we went to a Golden Corral buffet. I love me a Golden Corral
You went to a
buffet.
buffet. You are a maniac. You're a maniac.
Love it. But see, now here's the thing. So they didn't have the hand sanitizer available. They didn't enforce the masks or social distancing or anything at all at the zoo. But we go to this Golden Corral, and there's motherfuckers over there standing with gloves on, holding your plate. Says, "Here's your plate, and don't forget to put this glove on."
That makes me happy though, because it's a buffet. It's a buffet.
Right, so you have to put a glove on to get the food at the buffet
Good.
and to get a plate, and then
Good.
in order to get another plate, you have to do it all over again. You
I think
can't
it should
use
be
the
one of
same
them bubble
you
gloves.
used.
Like they got the buffet shit in the bubble, right? And you got like the glove that goes into the bubble, right?
Oh,
and
like
then
like
you're
you're handling plutonium or something.
Yes, and you have to slide the tray and get into the next pair of gloves each place you go to. You know, it's another.
And then the plate
Each-
just comes out at the end.
Yeah, and then it comes out of the, you know. Hey, you know what, Golden Corral? There's another free one for you, bitches.
Shit.
Hello?
So, we're we're not like fucking COVID deniers or any of that bullshit. I mean, again, you can fucking see the shit right here. The fucking brand new imaging and shit, which has been one of the problems with lung shit. You know, again, we're not fucking doctors, but you know, we play them on TV, and what I've learned is that they got trouble with like lungs. You know, they got trouble with that shit. You know.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
nice.
That's true. But let me tell you another thing real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you one of the reasons they don't take temperatures in the hospitals anymore at this point, because a lot of places aren't doing it. That's because with the new strands of COVID, you're not presenting with a fever anymore.
Yeah.
You're barely presenting with the cold symptoms until it smacks you dead in the face.
Yeah. But to my point, AC, was it wasn't even necessarily just about COVID. I just thought it was nice. You know, you're going into a medical establishment.
no,
I'd like for there to not be any fevers. You don't got to do it for
I
a
can
restaurant.
agree with that.
you
There's a
know?
lot of places. I'm just telling you that's part
Yeah.
of the reason why they stopped.
Absolutely.
doing it.
Like, it's a waste of money to have someone
Yep.
standing at the front. What are we paying them? Well, we can buy more fucking disposable fucking motherfucking napkins.
I was about to say napkins, motherfucker. Get out of my head.
I'm there to stay, brother. So,
You're the one that's blaming all this piss on me too, aren't you?
shouts out to Dudesy.
I love those guys.
God, it's so funny. So funny. If you're not watching Dudesy Pod Show, it's so funny. It's the first podcast completely run by AI, and it's got the two most random people hosting it that the AI chose, and shit, man, it works. It works.
I'm pretty sure we shouted out at them on our last episode too, but
It's
you know
probably-
what? It's that good.
Dude, we got to do like a watch along sometime or something.
And do some commentary on it, so that way it's commentary and not. Here's a freebie for you guys.
Yeah. Also, if we keep shouting out Dudesy, maybe
We'll pick up in the algorithm.
because Dudesy's listening to every fucking podcast. So.
Well, that's true. That's also very true. On a real note,
So maybe, you know, and if not that, we still got that ticket to outer space. We'll
That's
get there
very true.
eventually. Let's see here. A UVA astrochemist helps explore the chemistry of outer space. An associate professor out of UVA. Shouts out to UVA, man.
UVA.
That's so funny, man. You got to open up the chat, AC. You got to open up the chat. Yeah. Man, I got to get this shit fixed so I could like chat back. So the yeah. So this motherfucker, he's like he's taking like molecules that they get out of space. He's like, I guess they're taking space rock and they're taking shit and they're like analyzing it. And again, this is another one of those kind of revolutionary things where we're just able to break things down more. Again, I don't know how the science works, but I know he's working with a German, so it's good. You know they figured this shit out. And they found isopropanol. Call back to hand sanitizer. Yeah. I don't know what the hell that means, but it's pretty exciting, right? Here's Rob Garrett, associate professor of, astrochemist. That sounds like some Star Trek shit,
It does. It does. And as we said in the last episode, Vulcans.
Yeah, man. Maybe he's one of them. He's Vulcans in disguise. I'm taking two different things. So yeah, let's see here. So I guess one thing I got from this article, just where they're talking about like getting these chemical compositions to study what's out there, because there's a lot of elements on Earth that we assume come from out there, but there might be some fucking vibranium or adamantium out there that we don't know about.
There could be. I mean,
That's
there
a
was
good
what,
point. Brandy said in the chat, confirmed, alien sanitize. Yeah, because there's like this fucking isopropanol and like, it's like, what? What were you about to say, dude?
Well, I was gonna say, it could be because there's what 2 or 3 different metals that they've brought back. That it's like, well, this isn't in our periodic table of elements. So what the fuck is this? And then there was that one that was added to the periodic table that they found in where was it, in Egypt? The ball. You know what I'm talking
You
about?
got to get that story. I don't remember that one. I do remember like there was like the unobtainium, and
Unobtainium, is it unobtainable? Is that what I'm understanding here?
that was the theoretical thing because the way they broke down the periodic table of elements, they've also thought of elements that could be just being like if you take this many fucking electrons and neutrons and everything and smash them together, you're going to get this element. They kept, yeah, I mean, I don't know how many they're up to or whatever. I wonder because if you remember the table from back in school, there were like the blocks missing. There were like the blocks missing around. There were like blocks up here.
Oh,
and supposedly it could be like on a
that we
grid.
know of. So what you're talking about in school, yeah, that's a periodic table, but there's a whole nother periodic table that's like double.
I'm guessing
what we
they
know
unlocked
about in
them. Like
school.
they beat the bosses. You keep beating the bosses, and you keep unlocking more elements on the grid.
Oh,
That's
you
what I'm
talking
guessing.
about like back in the day, Mario, like the Super Mario Bros. It's like beat this level, and there's a whole nother fucking 10 different blocks that you can unlock. It's like, oh damn, does it ever end?
Yeah.
Well, it does, but I didn't want to get sad like that. Now I'm sad.
Aw.
You told me that story we did was going to be the last one, and then, but I guess
I don't
to
know
be
how
fair,
you got
I
sad
made
from this
myself
one.
sad.
But I want to say it's on you. And I want to
Yeah,
say,
you're probably
Are
right,
you feeling
Kevin.
sorry for yourself?
I am.
Yeah. So, that is all of the. Oh, well, no, I had another point about this. The implication of this, what I was ramping up to earlier, is like some space mining shit, right? Where you can
Right.
be able to, like, as you go along on you're on the asteroid, right? You're on the asteroid, and you're chipping away, you're dig-dugging your way on that bitch, and you put your rocks in you put your rocks in the little thing that's like, you know what it makes me think of? On SpongeBob. Remember Plankton? He was going to put the Krabby Patty in that thing that was like seaweed, 50% sea, 50% weed, and and then I
Yeah.
popped out, fucking seaweed, bitch. So we, yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. They're going to start like, we're going to start mining up there within the next like 20 years or some shit,
Yeah. I could 100% see it.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a bad idea, honestly, when you think about the elements that we are running out of.
Yeah, it's just
I
the
mean-
problem is, AC, there's no labor laws in space. You need to figure that out first.
Well, of
God,
course, there has
have
to
you
be a
let
set
it-
of standards.
Help!
I'm sorry, say that again. I forgot that one was so long.
Oh, God, that's perfect. And it unfortunately caused me to lose my train of thought.
Oh, shit.
But that is okay. Be-
I'm sorry, man.
What was I saying? Huh?
Cheap weed and applesauce.
I'm sorry. I just had to. So you were saying that we're running out of these elements, like we're running out of like silicon and shit, which again shouts, call back to like quantum computing. That's why we need to figure that shit out,
Right, yeah. But I was talking in reference to what you were saying about labor laws in space.
Oh, yeah.
We probably should come up with the best way that could get the most money for the people who are already rich. And probably best to say slavery would be the best option to go there, because that seems to be the option that is most often chosen.
And
Firing squad electric chair, it's all it saved to me.
That's not where I thought you were going to go with that. I did not think you were going to go in the pro slave. You know what? You belong up there with the fucking Supreme Court justices helping them make the decisions on this.
Right, because I mean, I obviously agree with everything that they say and everything that's going on. So of course, that's where I stand. It's too bad that this is mostly a comedy segment. In which case, of course, I'm just making fun of the Supreme Court at this point.
Yeah.
Damn. Sucks to be those guys.
Dude. They're going to get it, man.
Whoops.
And on that note, man, that's everything we have. Fucking topical punch this time. I mean it. And, you know, so that's that. Moving on to our musical solution for today. And at this point,
Look at that image. That's grotesque.
I believe that was a from your ring cam. Was that it?
From my what?
Your ring cam. You said you took that from your ring cam? You said you took that picture? You looked up at your ring cam? I'm sorry.
Although that did take 5 minutes to make, so you know. I mean, maybe.
Whoa. Sorry. I was trying to figure out the best way to do this because I wanted to keep the art up there as yeah. Sorry.
As you inject something? Oh, is the chat actually showing up now?
Yeah. I can't figure out how to reply, man. But we have a chat going.
Wow.
Oh, I guess I could have used this phone over here. See,
It's
that's
pulled
why
up.
we
I've got it
need
pulled up
like
on the phone at the moment, but
we need like a behind the scenes type.
well, that would be helpful now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because you know, I love the chat, but like it would slow things down. I need to have it like the Twitch streamers where like it's showing up on the screen, right? So that like could like reply that way. It'd be more like an interactive thing. We're getting there. We're getting there, folks.
It's a process. I know a lot of people like to say that, and you hear that often when there is some sort of technical difficulties. But I assure you that is not the case. We're just stupid.
Basically. Might as well call this the Basic Bitch Podcast, you know?
Well, it's fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on here to the musical solution for the day to wrap it up. And as promised last week, we have a golden newie here. That didn't sound as cool out loud as I thought it did in my head.
Well, you know what? I'm sure a lot of things, you know, like the cloud and things like that. That didn't sound so great at first, and then you know it became mass produced, and it just became part of language.
You think golden newie is going to happen?
No, but I just didn't want you to feel bad.
It, you know,
Well,
sometimes
now you
that
do.
makes me feel bad because then I'm like,
I
what do I need to feel bad about? You know.
yeah, I didn't think it all the way through before I said it.
Well, no, I didn't think about golden newie all the way through before I said it.
See, so my point still stands and is valid.
I take
So this track you brought here today, AC, Obsession. Was this one of your the first ones of this new renaissance, right? Like this was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably like fourth or fifth that I recorded most of it last year and then just added the rest of it literally yesterday.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, it's yeah. I want to say more, but I'm just gonna let this one speak for itself. I'm going to mute us and go to a little full screen, Jimmy. There, yes. Let's do a little F. Oh, nope, not F12. There we go. And I'm gonna mute us, and just the song will be playing. And exciting.
A state of fighting between states and nation, a struggle between opposing forces caused by the belief that someone dangerous is likely to cause pain. Infatuation, smitten, cause so much damage yet no longer exists and cannot be repaired. This is just another reason for fake media claim a persona masking gaze like a psychopath therapy. Just to do the same, broken wings flap as it slaps a dead window in the bay. Can't stop the decay they crave, or another day like a VHS tape. Footing found with the footage made, back to check or couldn't balance the page. Here we live through darkness. Recent possession, pain and acquisition, submission, it's like an addiction, preoccupies the mind for a painful admission. Obsession, regression, you can't escape, loading lemonade. Obsession, it's time to break and make a change, do it on faith, never fade. Obsession. Something they will take weight, make hell break, storm the gate, negate change while they lay waste to what not. If life they live to fear not, but spawning are caught. A web of lies on a profit dump, spice, cinnamon tea, rum and rye. Stand up to a world, just one time, a big leg, no wise find. The meaning to the well when the fountains run dry. Find more in the sewer has become life. Try and try, but in the same drive. A mortal is the mother of the sword. I feel the dumb mortal as they rip you apart. Recent possession, pain and acquisition, submission, it's like an addiction, preoccupies the mind for a painful admission. Obsession, regression, you can't escape, loading lemonade. Obsession, it's time to break and make a change, do it on faith, never fade. Obsession. Constriction upon a moral conviction played out for selfish commitment, resentment, incompetence first, and incomplete sentences. Unholy resurrection of assertions that keeps the powers that be on the surface. Surfers they go and eat bugs and cheap threats while you peel the skin back, but the pages of the Bible go wet and focus in on the content only held in contempt. To ferment a convent, lament how the commerce and economy gets spent, how the poor get sick and the rich resent the lack of help they get. Been back with the price tag on the matters of fact, the present but don't prevent. Bad health ascent, bad wealth repent, mental health just another mountain 10. Put them behind bars, false and men for an obedient mission and immortal seeking. Obsession, recent possession, pain and acquisition, submission, it's like an addiction, preoccupies the mind for a painful admission. Obsession, regression, you can't escape, loading lemonade. Obsession, it's time to break and make a change, do it on faith, never fade. Obsession.
Dude, it gives me chills every time.
Kind of fitting based off our show too.
It did fit the theme of today's show, AC. Oh my God, you're right. And the letter of today, kids, is O for obsession.
Next time on Sesame Street.
No, next time on Snide Street, motherfucker. That would've
Oh,
been cool if
motherfucker,
I
I'm so sorry. I get confused sometimes, with the dyslexia and shit.
Oh shit.
I'm not dyslexic. I just didn't want to seem stupid.
So yeah, man. Fuck. I almost don't want this episode to end. This has been a go. We found our groove, I think, this season.
Yeah.
As far as like format and stuff, we're gonna keep building on it, keep tweaking and stuff. I didn't even get a complaint, but I changed it from where the background was like on a little like big screen because I was like that was like redundant. You want people to see more of what you're looking at, kind of thing. And that's that, and it's a wrap.
Does that mean we gotta say goodbye?
Say that again.
I said, does that mean we gotta say goodbye?
That means we got to say goodbye, AC. That's it on today's Snide show. You got anything else to... where can they find your music and stuff?
At the moment, because it's just, free distribution. What is that, SoundCloud?
SoundCloud, yeah. I think you got a couple things on Spotify, at least for now, while you got the license from HLP. So that's that, and yeah. Hope everyone out there has a great weekend, and stay snide. It's got it.